Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video will be seen and shared. Sling Driver once again, coming to you with video number 2 in my non-Zelos State of the Collection series. I already did video 1, which you saw last week, which was ostensibly all my quartz watches. I'll explain that in a minute. Video number 2 will be all the other watches that are not those watches. Video number 2 will be manufacturers beginning with the letter A, ending with the letter M. We're going to go this way in this little pile we have here. Video number 3 will be N through Z, obviously not Zelos. So, this will be the 5th video I make of my entire State of the Collection. You see here 15 watches, A through M. The other grouping, which will be up next week after you see this, will be N through Z. And that's also 15 watches. And no, I didn't plan it that way. It just kind of happened. Also, there are some quartz watches in this grouping. These two back here, these two over here. The reason for that is because these two are Breitlings, as is this one. These two are marathons, as is this one. And I wanted to group them together in the video presentation. So I decided to hold these quartz watches back from the first video. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. My collection, my video, my rules. A lot of really great watches in this video, so let's get straight into it. First watch up is one of my bigger watches. I think it might be, in terms of diameter, the second biggest watch I own, other than a G-Shock that you haven't seen yet. This is from Arnold & Son. It's a Swiss watchmaker. This is one of their moon phase watches. And yes, it does have star patterns on there, like the Big Dipper, and like Medusa over here. The moon phase is down here. You can see we're at the moment in this month, we're at the half moon phase. The moon phase is actually set with a pusher over here. You can see that. And when you push that in, it clicks between, it has a separate moon wheel, and you actually have pictures of the moon on that wheel, and it just circulates different pictures of the moon in different phases. You have a very subtle date window here at the 3 o'clock. The case is white gold, and this is one of the True Moon series. On the back, you have a picture of the full moon. Here, I'm going to open this up a little more. You have nice engine-turned fold-over clasp. It is a leather strap, alligator strap actually, and it's a deploy clasp with full engine turning on the inside, and it is white gold. It's a beautiful watch. One of my very favorite. I don't wear it very often, but it is very comfortable to wear despite its size. We got an oversized onion crown, signed Arnold & Son. Beautiful watch. Next watch up is actually my very favorite watch in my entire collection, and I'm almost embarrassed to tell you that my watch collection at the moment is over 80 watches. I'm almost embarrassed, but not quite. But of all those watches, this one is my absolute favorite. This is my Breitling Navitimer Twin 60. I searched for a long, long time for the right Navitimer when I decided this was going to be my grail watch at the time. And I wanted to take my time and find the right one. I heard of the Twin 60, so named because it has twin hands at the 6 o'clock chronograph position that track minutes and hours on the chronograph. Hence the name Twin 60. They only made this watch for 1 year, this particular Navitimer. They made Navitimers since the 50s, but this watch was a 1 year only watch. They're not easy to find, and when I got the opportunity to buy one, I jumped on it. I absolutely jumped on it because it is beautiful, it's somewhat rare, and I love it. Now, you have running seconds at the 3 o'clock, you have a 24-hour indicator at the 9 o'clock, and you have the Twin 60 dial at the 6 o'clock. You have a fixed. I'm sorry, not fixed. You have what do they call this? I forgot the name. I forgot the name. I'm losing my mind. But you can do calculations with the rotating bezel. It rotates in both directions. It's stiff enough that it sets in place. Piston style pushers, beautifully done. I've paired it with a collar leather strap. Has kind of a nice suede feel to it. Slide rule. Thank you. It's a slide rule. It's a rotating slide rule bezel that I don't know how to use. I have another Breitling. Actually, I'm going to grab this one first. This is my first Breitling ever. This is an aerospace. And for some reason, the bezel, I know why it is, because I had to set it. And anyway, there we go. This is an Digi, analog digital. This is Breitling Aerospace, pilot's style watch. You saw it has a bidirectional bezel, full titanium watch, full titanium strap, bracelet, full titanium clasp, double fold or double lock. Very comfortable to wear. First Breitling I ever picked up. And you can see if you rotate the crown, you activate the lower display, and the upper display tells you what it is. Like, that's the alarm. There's your chronograph. Everything is operated from the crown. There's a second time zone. There's a timer, countdown timer. You keep rotating and you get to day and date. Keep rotating and there's your time in digital form. And then if you rotate further, it shuts off the digital display. Beautiful watch. One of my other very favorite watches is a watch based on that design called the Emergency. And it's flashing, meaning that the battery is wearing out, which means it's time for this baby to go in for service. This is a Breitling Emergency. This is a first generation Emergency. What is that frequency? 121.5. This watch is a pilot's watch, and it's meant to be worn by pilots, and also yachtsmen wear this watch because if a disaster happens to you, you have the ability to unscrew this crown and this one too as a extender, pull this crown outward and pull this side outward too, and you open up and deploy an antenna and activate in here at the bottom an emergency beacon that transmits on the 121.5 megahertz, which to my understanding is still monitored out there for pilots in in an emergency. So if you're a pilot or you crash, or you're a boatsman and you have an accident on the water, or you're a hiker and you get lost, you can deploy the emergency beacon and they will try and come find and rescue you. That's great. Now, the downside to that is if you deploy the damn thing as a joke, you're facing heavy fines and significant jail time. And this is a rotating crown with compass. You can see it has the degrees on the compass from 0 to 360 on the bezel. If you deploy this thing, you better mean it, or else the fines and possible jail time will be significant. And if you do deploy it, you have to send the watch back to Breitling to be essentially rebuilt. So, not a toy. But that was my third Grail watch. This was my first one, second, third. I have another Grail watch in mind. In fact, I have a couple in mind. I don't have them now, but I will have them eventually. Another watch I picked up along the way is from a company called DeWitt. Very small company. Again, Swiss company. It's a moon phase watch. This is a titanium watch. And the moon phase is down here with these little pearls, and it rotates around, and when the little pearl type thing comes into this circle, that's full moon. You have partial skeletonization here of the mechanism. You have a solid case back here. And it's a beautiful daily wear, not daily wear, but a dress style watch, although it's a little thick to be a dress watch. It can be a dressy watch. Only gripe I have about this watch is no running second hand, so you don't actually know if the thing's running until you watch the minute hand move. And these little dashes along the bezel are, because you can see it doesn't have indices past the 20-minute mark, but you can see the middle of one of these indices is your, like your 25, 30, 35, 40, etc. So your middle of one of these dashes on the bezel becomes your indice. Now I come to two watches that I've had for a very, very long time. Both of them I've had since 2006, when I I was in my first phase of watch collecting, which I did for a very short time and then stopped because reality, and I lost enthusiasm for it, quite frankly. I was in that part of my life where I was easily distracted. This is a Doxa, or Doxa, depending on how you want to pronounce it. This is a Doxa Professional sub 750T, meaning that it's rated for 750 meter diving. The way I found out about Doxa was I was reading books from my favorite author, rest in peace, Clive Cussler. He was a very, very prolific writer of novels, and his first series of books centered around the adventures of a character named Dirk Pitt. And one of the characteristics of Dirk Pitt that was emphasized in almost every book was the fact that he wore a orange Doxa dive watch. And I didn't know what that was for a very long time until internet, and I could look up what one of these looked like, and I said, oh yeah, gotta have one of those. So I actually picked this one up from Doxa directly. This is actually a watch that was done in conjunction with the movie Sahara, starring Matthew McConaughey as Dirk Pitt. I thought he did a pretty good job. Sahara was one of Dirk Pitt's books. So I picked this one up in 2006 and have owned it ever since. It's in excellent condition. Has that beautiful beads of rice bracelet that is so very desirable. You wouldn't know that this watch is 15 years old, would you? After that watch, I picked up a lot of Doxas over time. I had every colorway imaginable in their dive series, but I've sold them all off except for the two I have now. I have the Professional, which is orange, and I have this Doxa 750T GMT, which is a very rare piece. They only made one GMT ever, and this was it. And they're Caribbean. The Caribbeans are always blue. There's Professional and orange. Blue is Caribbean. Black is Shark Hunter. Yellow is Dive Star. Silver is Seamaster. And there's an aquamarine one, which is the Project Aware watch. I had all those at one time, but I sold the other ones off because I just wasn't wearing them. These two I wear, and this one is beautiful. It has dual crowns, and yes, this one is unscrewed. And this crown rotates the inner bezel. I'll show you. It's a screw down. You can see it rotates the inner bezel for the GMT, and then screws back down very easily. GMT hand is here, and it's set with the crown, and there's a date window also, which is set by turning the crown in the other direction. As I said, these watches are somewhat rare. They only made one GMT watch, and this was it, and they haven't done one since. Also, I should point out the bezel is a very efficient dive bezel. It not only allows you to line up, the minutes with the pip, like so, but it will also tell you if you go down 60, if you go down 60 feet, how much time you have left before you have to decompress, or 70 or 80, and you can see how much time you have on the bottom based on where you put the pip and based on your depth. So it's a dive bezel, but it does more than a typical dive bezel. It also tells you how long your bottom time is. I got this Egard watch from my father as a Father's Day gift this year in 2021. These watches were sold, and the proceeds of the sale, some of the profits for the sale, went to a police benevolence society, if my memory serves me correctly. It's an open heart style watch, automatic, very nice, and a nice gift from my father on Father's Day. I paired it with a collar strap because I didn't like the strap that it came with, and I have plenty of spare collar straps around, and it's a nice grab and go style watch. I have this watch from GOS, a Swiss maker, a very small production number Swiss manufacturer. This is in white gold. It's one of only 10 watches, and that's loose. I'm going to have to tighten that. This is one of only 10. Actually, it's number 6. And it's really a beautiful watch. I love the custom rotor with the Damascus metal pattern on the back. You can see it moving there a little bit. There you go. And another Damascus pattern on the dial. Just a very simple dress watch. It's a little, maybe a touch thick to be a dress watch, but not too bad. Three-hander, very simple three-hander. Very interesting crown with kind of the turbine style knurling. You can see GOS there is the manufacturer. You don't see those watches very often, that's for sure. I have a Glashute Original. This is a German watch. This is, you can see the Planomatic, I'm sorry. yeah. And it's a moon phase watch. There's the moon phase there. Big date, small seconds. It does make setting this watch a bit of a challenge if you're around the half-hour mark. Somewhere between the 25 mark, 35 mark. Obviously, you can set the minute hand to 30 there, and it'll line up. But setting the watch in this region of the hour is a little challenging because the indices kind of run out because of the location of the small seconds dial, but minor inconvenience. This watch has been a bit, and you can see it's not quite a micro rotor, it's what they call a 3/4 rotor, but beautifully decorated movement on the back, and again a white gold watch. This watch has been a bit of a problem child over the years that I've owned it. It seems like every 4 years it breaks in the same manner every time, and it has to go back for the same repair every time. And I got to tell you, the repair is not cheap. And it's gone for like 3 months, but it is worth it because it's a beautiful watch. Definitely a beautiful dress watch. I have my only glycine. This is a glycine combat sub in the orange and blue colorway. Now, it took me a long time to find this one. Not a lot of this colorway compared to others that they've made in the combat sub. This is a pre-Invicta watch. This was before glycine was bought out by Invicta. This is what I call one of my Gator watches, pardon me, in orange and blue. I think it's the prettiest of those watches. A beautiful sunburst blue dial, lovely bezel. It's an aluminum bezel insert, and it's a 60-click bezel. It lines up beautifully. Wears very comfortably. It's very thin for a diver. It's just a beautiful watch. It's in excellent condition. Definitely a keeper. I have a watch that causes great love or great angst, depending on who views the video. This is my Grand Seiko Snowflake. This is in full titanium. Now, it did come with a titanium bracelet. The bracelet uses a pins and collar style link system, and it's also a butterfly class, which means it's, for me, basically impossible to find a good place to a good sizing. So I replaced it with a gray collar leather strap. Now, I'm not sponsored by Collar-Ebb. They don't know that I mention them in a lot of my videos, but I find Collar-Ebb leather straps to be some of the best around, and I've tried a lot of them. And I love the Collar-Ebb leather straps. They're beautifully made, and they smell great too. Exhibition case back. You can see the decoration of the rotor. This uses one of their spring drives. Look how smooth that sweep is. I mean, that's smoother than any automatic. The spring drive basically makes this thing quartz accurate, but uses a winding mechanism to charge the drive. But when it takes off, it's as smooth a sweep as an automatic. Smoother, actually. You can just see it's continuous, and it's beautiful watch. Beautifully made. Zaratsu polishing on the case. Beautiful faceting, and for the money, Grand Seiko rivals some of the bigger Swiss manufacturers for quality and fit and finish, and usually at a third the price. And they're not cheap watches, to be sure, but compared to what their competition is, they're pretty cheap. One of my 3 marathons, one of my 3 search and rescue watches. This is the smallest of them. This is 36 millimeter. It's one of only a couple watches I own that are below 38 millimeter. But this doesn't wear like a 36 millimeter because it has the lugs are a bit extended and it's a pretty tall watch. But this one is a quartz watch, as you can see the way it ticks. And I believe this is a GSAR, General Search and Rescue watch. It's beautifully made. Marathon makes watches for many militaries around the world, including the U.S. It even has U.S. I'm pretty sure that's right side up, or is it this way? My eyesight is so bad I can't tell. Anyway, it has a military government procurement number on the back. It's well-made watch. I paired it with one of these Ichi, Ichi metal straps that I found on Amazon that I've just absolutely fallen in love with, and I bought many of those. They're very inexpensive, and they're very comfortable, and they're easy to put on, and just a great strap overall. I had this on a collar wrap leather strap for a while, but I've changed to the Ichi. The loom on this watch, the loom on the bezel is your standard, BGW stuff, but the indices and the hands are tritium. And that's why these watches carry a Nuclear Regulatory Commission number on the back, and they have a little nuclear symbol on the watch face because they use tritium tubes. I have its slightly bigger brother in 41 millimeter. This is the I don't remember if this is the TSAR or I think it's the TSAR, Tactical Search and Rescue. Might be the MSAR. I'm not sure. Somebody will correct me in the comments. Very similar watch to the small guy. And then my favorite of the three marathons is the JSAR, the Jumbo Search and Rescue. This is a 46 millimeter watch. It's one of the thickest watches I own. And this one is the very special Yemen edition. This is one of the Israeli Special Forces units, Yemen. You can see it has the Yemen crest on the face, and the day indicator on the watch is in both English and Hebrew. Shout out to Mark over at Long Island Watch for finding me one of these and selling it to me, because these are not easy to find. And you can see some schmutz on the back. You can see the Yemen crest. Get off of my watch, you goofy schmutz thing. You have the Yemen crest on the back. And I also have the metal strap from Marathon that goes with this. And on the clasp is the Yemen crest as well. I didn't put it on the watch because I really like this black mesh better. But I love this watch. Beautifully made piece. And that's it. That is my A through M video of my state of the collection. I'm sorry this took so long, but go through 15 watches. It takes a bit of time, especially when you're a talker like I am. So, real briefly, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it to be entertaining, useful, informative. By the way, all these watches have their own detailed videos on my channel. So if you saw a watch that you wanted to learn more about, go find that video. It's easy to search my channel and find them. But if you found this video to be useful, entertaining, informative, please click that thumbs up for me. It does help. Comments, questions, and suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to troll me, you're going to be nasty, or you're going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I will just simply delete the comment and I will block you. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you found the channel. I encourage you to watch as many videos as you want that I have. I have hundreds. All I ask is that at some point before you leave, please click that subscribe button. And when you do, click the bell icon next to it so that when I upload new material, you'll be informed. And when I do live streams, which I do every Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and at other times during the week as time and opportunity avail themselves to me, you will be alerted to the start of those live streams. Meanwhile, don't forget, it is a crazy old world out there. I ask all of you, subscriber and non-subscriber alike, please be safe, be careful, be healthy. I'll see you soon.